Have you read 1 Chronicles 26? We have a building fund and a treasure. Emmanuel has likely had that from the very beginning of our existence. Both of those would have been needed to purchase the land and then build the building we still worship in today. I found it interesting that both the treasure and building fund go back at least to the days of David. In verse 20 of this chapter, we find that there are two categories: are treasures of the house of God and treasures of the dedicated gifts. It was noted in one of the study Bibles that those in charge of the treasures were positions of trust. Churches today seek to continue this biblical principle and find trustworthy individuals to watch over the treasures of the church. Now on to the building fund. Here we are in 1 Chronicles chapter 26, beginning in verse 26. This Shelomoth and his relatives were in charge of all the treasuries of what had been dedicated by King David, by the family heads who were the commanders of thousands and of hundreds, and by the army commanders. They dedicated part of the plunder from their battles for the repair of the Lord's temple. All that the seer Samuel, son of Kish, Abner, son of Ner, and Joab, son of Zerah, had dedicated, along with everything else that had been dedicated, were in the care of Shelomoth and his relatives. We saw it with the first battle in the promised land at Jericho, where the spoils were dedicated to God. In the following battles, by the many leaders listed, we find that at least a portion of the spoil was set aside for God. This stockpile of treasure was then used for the repair of the Lord's temple. God had already put in place a maintenance fund for his house. Isn't that amazing? Keep reading, encourage others to read, and expect to find more gems to help us live like Jesus. Thank you.